Primetime news. This is the Fox 42 News at 9.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry, but we don't have your car. Our lockbox was broken into.
Imagine dropping your car off at the shop for repairs only to find out it was stolen. It happened to one Omaha woman. What she's doing now to try and track down her car. An Omaha woman is now looking for her stolen car.
She says someone took it when she dropped it off for repairs at a car shop. Fox 42's Winnie Dortch has a report from police.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry, but we don't have your car. Our lockbox was broken into.
That's the response Jessie Schneider got when she called Jensen Tire and Auto on Monday.
We dropped it off at 7:30 on Sunday night.
She says her car needed repairs and that she dropped the keys and a note in that same drop box.
They didn't even know that my car was there.
She says her car was one of the several cars that was stolen, which is now a challenge for Schneider.
I've used my vehicle to pick up donations from other agencies, to take donations to other agencies.
The shop is at 90th and Bedford. We reached out to Jensen Tire and Auto today, and a manager there said they did not want to comment at this time. It's not good enough for Schneider.
I feel like this could be prevented if the lockbox had a funnel of some kind where the keys would drop into the actual building that has a security alarm system.
For now, she's hoping her car is found.
Schneider says she is working with her insurance company, the business, and police. She's currently using her husband's car to get around. Omaha police say there were no cameras facing that lockbox.
Well, it was a hot one today across the metro, no doubt about that, topping out in the upper 80s, Atlanta, Denison, 90 at Tacoma, 89 Columbus, Lincoln at 91, and Omaha topped out at 91 this afternoon, but we did feel like triple-digit heat all over the place because of the added humidity. In fact, around 5 o'clock this evening in Omaha, the heat index, or the feels-like temperature, was 105 degrees. And it's going to only get hotter over the next few days. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, look for heat index or feels-like temperature values between 105 and 115. That's when you factor in the temperature and how much humidity is in the air, makes it feel a lot hotter. So it's going to feel like 105 to 115. We have an excessive heat warning in effect for the metro and surrounding areas, all this area in purple, and an excessive heat watch for areas in orange, places like Adair and over toward Columbus. Right now in the metro, we're 85 degrees, mostly clear. Look at that humidity. It's up there. Relative humidity right now at 72%. That makes that 85 feel like 93 degrees. Stick around. Tomorrow's Day Planner is on the way.
Do you have pictures or videos of last week's massive fire in Exira, Iowa? If you do, an Exira woman wants them. As Fox 42's Katie Blaze found out, that woman will be putting together a display of the fire for the town's museum, something she hopes will eventually bring healing to those who live there.
This is going to change the way Exira looks when you drive through forever.
It was just last Friday when the small town of Exira, Iowa, lost several buildings in a huge fire.
This is big. This is really, really big for the community.
For people like Judy Nelson. She's lived in Exira her whole life and is now the caretaker of a museum in town. When the fire happened, she says her emotions were everywhere.
It went from extreme sadness that our town was experiencing, loss of businesses, loss for those families. It was a day when it also turned into an extremely humbling, heartfelt day, as you saw donations pour in from literally across the country. You see firemen from 50 miles away coming in, giving up their work.
Now she wants to capture all that happened during that life-changing day.
I just think history is important. You learn from history, you look back on history,
and eventually display it at this museum in Exira.
I'm seeing a lot of wonderful pictures, a lot of great video on Facebook. The more we can gather now and put it together, the sooner we have it, the sooner our historical archives will be put together.
At this point, Nelson says she doesn't know what the display will look like, but she does have an idea of where she'd like it to be, here in the first room of the museum, so everyone will see it.
I think in time when they look at it, there'll be that sadness of the loss of the community, but hopefully we can bring out also what good has come out of that. I think this could also bring a little healing for people.
In Exira, Katie Blaze, Fox 42 News.
Nelson says she hopes to have a display of the fire ready for the 4th of July next year.
Mayor Jean Stothard revealed her 2018 budget to the City Council this afternoon. The mayor wants to add 20 more police officers and 6 firefighters. Her plan also calls for the Parks Department to get an additional $250,000 to continue battling the Emerald Ash Borer, and for the library to get $1 million added to its budget. The mayor doesn't plan to decrease the restaurant tax or property tax.
To take property tax rate down more or to try to eliminate the restaurant tax in 2018, it would leave an enormous hole, multi-million-dollar hole in the budget, and we would not be able to do these things. In fact, we would probably have to severely cut city services.
A public hearing on the budget is scheduled for August 8th. A vote will happen on August 22nd.
President Barack Obama's chief of staff has now been interviewed by the Senate Intelligence Committee, and it's all about the investigation into alleged Russian meddling in the U.S. election. Dennis McDonough declined to discuss the meeting as he left an interview with committee staffers today, but said he was happy to come up. The panel is interviewing several former Obama administration officials this week. Panel staff met with former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper on Monday. An interview is planned with former National Security Advisor Susan Rice. And the Senate's Plan B for Trump care now seems dead, and Plan C looks to be in trouble before it can get off the ground.
GOP senators balked at Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's proposal to ditch a replacement for Obamacare. Instead, he wants to repeal it outright. Ryan Nobles reports at least 3 Republican senators say they won't support that option, leaving McConnell without a majority to move forward on that either.
Tonight, Senate Republicans are running out of options. Yet another attempt to address health care reform has run into a major roadblock.
I regret that the effort to repeal and immediately replace the failures of Obamacare will not be successful. That doesn't mean we should give up.
Soon after Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell made his pitch to repeal Obamacare without a replacement, 3 senators, Susan Collins of Maine, Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia, and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, said they would not support a vote to bring the new version of the bill to the floor, essentially killing the measure. Despite losing those 3 senators, McConnell said he would plow ahead with a vote, even if it will fail.
Well, I think we'll have to see what happens. We will have demonstrated that Republicans by themselves are not prepared at this particular point to do a replacement. And that doesn't mean the problems all go away.
The failure by Senate leadership and the way McConnell handled the situation has one prominent Republican upset. Wisconsin's Ron Johnson was angry over reports that McConnell was telling moderate senators not to worry about long-term Medicaid cuts. McConnell said his remarks were misinterpreted. But when asked if he still has faith in McConnell as a leader, Johnson responded, quote, "I found those comments very troubling." When a reporter followed up, asking, "So you're not going to say yes to that?" he repeated, "I was troubled with those comments." But despite the crack in McConnell's grip on control of the caucus, most Republicans remain behind him.
Do you still have faith in Leader McConnell? Yeah. This is not about Mitch, it's about the politics of health care.
The path forward for Republicans right now is unclear. The problems that existed between the conservative and moderate wings of the party remain, leaving senators in search of an alternative that doesn't currently exist, as Democrats open the door to a bipartisan conversation.
It's time to move on. It's time to start over. Rather than repeating the same failed partisan process yet again, Republicans should work with Democrats.
Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, right there, says Democrats will work with Republicans to fix problems with the law once the GOP abandons its repeal efforts. That will have to wait at least a week, though. The vote to repeal Obamacare will happen early next week.
With temperatures near triple digits for at least the rest of the week, odds are your AC will be getting some work. Using up that much energy can get expensive. We'll show you some of the best ways to save money while staying cool.
Chick-fil-A is now testing out a new family pack. We'll show you what it comes with and how much it would cost you.
A hidden gem just across the border.
The story goes that it was actually brought from England, from a castle in England.
We show you where to find a 130-year-old courthouse with a lot of character. That's next. More than 2,000 firefighters are now trying to put out a massive wildfire burning in central California. At least 45,000 acres have been burned, 8 buildings destroyed.
And firefighters say they are having a tough time trying to get control of this wildfire. Fox 42 weather forecaster Alex Laynard is actually helping cover the wildfire near Yosemite National Park tonight. And Alex, hundreds of people have been evacuated, right?
Right, a lot of areas evacuated surrounding this fire that started on Sunday and, as mentioned, has burned more than 45,000 acres. It is spreading at an alarming rate. Firefighters say right now it's only 7% contained, so obvious sign that they have very little containment. You can see just behind me sweltering hillsides here. This fire is burning really quickly. It's only it's more than 45,000 acres. There are several thousands of homes that are evacuated right now. We have got a lot of evacuations in this area, communities to the south and the north, because this fire is spreading so quickly. Firefighters say their main concern today is that this fire is spreading south. We're dealing with really high temperatures here, very low humidity, and a lot of this light, flashy fuel, this tall grass that's just burning really quickly. However, fire is also spreading to the north. We were actually just about 30 miles north of Mariposa in the town of Coulterville, and that area is starting to see a lot of fire activity as well, a new fire activity as of today that this fire is continuing to grow. Also spoke with the spokesman from Yosemite, which is about 30 miles away. He says that the park is okay right now, just a little bit smoky at this time as this fire continues to spread. More than 2,000 firefighters are out here fighting this fire, and more are continuing to come in from all across the state because this fire is growing so rapidly. Again, their concern is that this fire is going to continue to spread south because of the way that the wind is moving. Gusty wind throughout the afternoon, very smoky in this area, a lot of activity from firefighters, but again, very little activity from people because there have been so many evacuations. Some people continuing to be evacuated as this fire does continue to spread, but it is moving very, very quickly, and firefighters are having a tough time getting a handle on it because it is so hot, so dry out here, and very windy as well. They anticipate more growth overnight tonight and hopefully a little more containment when this sun does go down to give these firefighters a little bit of reprieve. But again, burning very quickly in Mariposa County. For Fox 42 Kptm, I'm Alex Laynard.
All right, Alex. Well, smoke from this fire can be seen as far away as Boise, Idaho. Firefighters hope to have the fire under control by July 20th.
The fire burning near California's Yosemite National Park has now forced thousands of people from their homes.
Take a look at the fire from space. The so-called Detweiler fire is now 70,000 acres. That's roughly 109 square miles. That fire is only 24 miles away from the park right there. Fox 42 weather forecaster Alex Laynard is helping cover the wildfire for our sister station in Fresno.
The little church in the hill is just one of the 45 structures that have now been destroyed by the Detweiler fire. This fire continues to rage out of control, burning at now more than 70,000 acres. There are more than 3,000 firefighters that are trying to protect structures just like this. Unfortunately, this fire is moving so quickly and its direction continues to change. Today, what firefighters are looking at is a firefight that's pushing them north. The winds have shifted out of the south and are moving these flames north. More communities are being evacuated as more firefighters are being called to this firefight. There are now more than 3,000 here as of yesterday. There were a little more than 2,000. That number continues to change. If you see the hillside just behind me, completely charred. This fire came raging through here yesterday. But again, more than 70,000 acres have burned in the Detweiler fire here in Mariposa County. I'm Alex Laynard.
More than 3,000 firefighters are helping put out that fire. As Alex said, power remains out to thousands of people in the area due to fire damage, but the local power company cut power to certain areas for the protection of firefighters.